After you load the horns, run that file on them, and that'll apply the poser materials. You go back and do it to the other pieces. These are the legs, right? Yeah, legs. And one last piece. This also works really good for props, so that you don't have to go in and do the weird save it out to see what poser calls it trick I showed in my previous video. So you can use it for props, scene subsets. You can use it for anything, but it's really good for props. And anything like this, it's a scene subset that doesn't load in just one item. Alright, so I've told it DSun Importer is going to say after you load the horns, run this material preset. After you load the tail, run this material preset. After you load the legs, run this material preset. Once I save all this out as a scene subset. Alright, it's saving over to the studio side of the files. What I'm going to do here real quick before I hit that button, because I forgot to do it, we can look in Poser here real quick. Oops. Now I don't remember if I already showed you that part or not. Oh well. Here's the way it would load normally in Poser. It has no custom material presets on it, obviously. If I go ahead and finish saving that out, and it's already got everything selected, it's going to save the Minotaur and all that little bits. Save that out, and it's a scene subset. It's over here in the studio files. Let me flip over to the studio files. So that's the file I just saved out. And for those who are technically inclined and want to know, it looks like this here. What that added is you got to look for post load, and it adds this little section here, this extra section, and pretty much says add and post load file. After you load whatever it's talking about here, after you load Genesis 2 Mail, go and run that. And so it does, and it applies the material presets. And there's one in there for everything. Here's the one for, what is that? That's the horns. Here's the post load section. Tells it after you load the horns, go and apply the material preset for the horns. And you can do that with any kind of file as long as it's a valid file that'll actually do something. You can tell it to run a Python script or load something else, or you can set up an infinite loop, which is always fun, but I don't recommend it because it crashes Poser. So that's what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and copy it now, because right now it's just in the studio files. We're going to copy it over to the Poser files, and I think it goes right there. Nope, I missed. It goes right there. No, I've lost it. I think I was right the first time, but I deleted the file. Oh, those are materials. That's why I can't find it. There we go. It goes right there. Just toss it around at random until you find the right spot. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm pretty sure 12:18, yeah, 4 a.m. Okay, that's the one I just saved. So now if I come back into Poser, and we'll go new scene. And find my library. There's my library. Alright, so that's a new file. That's the one with the post load data in it. And if I run that one here, hopefully, unless I mess something up, it's going to load in the Minotaur with Poser custom materials on it. Okay, there it goes. It finishes doing its stuff. It runs all its little doodads. And now if we switch over to the material room, you can look and see, obviously, the Minotaur now has custom Poser materials, as do the horns, as well as the legs and the tail. Alright, so just real quick recap. The way to get it to work: you take regular studio or regular Poser material files and put them somewhere the users aren't going to move them around and break the setup. Then you come over here in Studio, you select the item you want, you go to Edit, Element Data. Add the element data basically tells the DSun Importer what file to run right after it loads that piece. And then you save everything back out however it's appropriate. Make sure you copy that newly saved file over into the Poser file so that that's the one Poser is actually going to load. And that's all there is to it. And that's how you get a bunch of stuff to load in from one file with custom Poser material presets using element data.